if you are sending 1,000 cold emails for yourself every day, okay? If you are sending 20 cold DMs on LinkedIn every day, and if you're posting every day and you're not doing 10K in 6 months, you call me, I coach you for free. All right, so like I have prepared a few questions where I'm really curious what's your point on it, as an industry expert, I would call you, right? So like I would say the agency space has exploded in the last 3 years. Everyone is an expert now. How are you differentiating yourself in such a crowded market?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, crowded markets are crowded for a reason. I think like if a service is crowded or saturated, that's because there's a need for it.
Hmm.
How I've separated myself, at least from what I do in lead generation, since it is a pretty big market with a lot of competitors, I focus on helping a certain group of people. So I
Hmm.
don't help, let's say, commercial cleaning, HVAC, software, and
Hmm.
accounting firms. I literally just help tech firms and marketing firms, and that's it. So
Hmm.
from a separation standpoint, I've really tailored my message throughout the last 24 months to really reflect what the software and marketing people that I speak with want to hear.
Hmm.
And they immediately feel like they're understood because I've been studying that vertical and I've been practicing my lead generation skills in that vertical only for the last 2 years.
Hmm.
So I feel that's the separation. It's just understanding exactly who you want to help and speaking their language and tailoring your solutions to fit their companies, because it's not the same to run lead generation for commercial cleaning like it is for software development. It's completely different.
Hmm. I love it, man. This is awesome. So what would you say, like in the space that we are right now, like you think it is important to specialize?
Yeah, I think so. When you're starting out, of course, no one expects you to know who you want to service
Hmm.
necessarily. So starting with a broader niche makes sense. For me, it was software development, which
Hmm.
came from a personal interest in that since I studied
Hmm.
software engineering and business.
Hmm.
It was pretty easy for me to understand, okay, I have this previous experience in software and I want to be an expert in the software industry because I want to start a software company in the future. So combining one and one equaled, let's do software, at least for me.
Hmm.
And over time, I realized, okay, software development makes sense. Let's expand into software products. So SaaS, that also
Hmm.
made sense because we had killer results for these clients. And
Hmm.
finally, why marketing? I added that because we actually, when we were servicing software development clients, we had some referral for marketing agencies as well. We ran outbound for them, generated over 50 meetings a month consistently for clients,
Hmm.
only with cold email.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, okay, we have this engine for marketing that also works. Let's just include marketing as well.
Hmm.
So definitely don't constrain yourself to one vertical, but definitely I wouldn't go above like 3 verticals that I specialize in, I feel like.
Hmm. Hmm. I love it how you tell the story. It's how basically how it developed with your
Yeah.
results. Right?
I try to be I try to not tell the longer story, but also explain the context behind it. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. Fucking cool, man. I like this a lot. What do you say, like, with all AI now coming up, what's your take on it? Like, how much do you use in your emails, and do you see it in general, like more as something good or almost like a threat?
Could you explain what threat means in this case?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say like, "Oh my God, AI is taking all our jobs away" and stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see it as a threat. Not at this stage, and I don't think I would see it as a threat if I am positioned as an expert in the field, because obviously there's a lot of things you can like automate with AI, but at the end of the day, you still need an expert who understands that to manage it for you.
Hmm.
So AI as in itself is a tool which you need to still learn how to use properly. And I
Uh-huh.
feel like that's where experts like you and me come in, because we know how to use these. So I don't see it as a threat in that regard. In the sense of service delivery, at least from my experience, the first 6 months that I started, I didn't have Play, I didn't have AI.
Exactly. We
So
didn't
all
have
the
it.
email,
We didn't
yeah.
have
So
shit, bro.
I know what
We
it
had
is to write
Google
emails.
Sheets, man.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I didn't even consider it a possibility. Then we started using AI to personalize our content that we push for ourselves and for our clients. Immediately, we saw a bump in positive reply rates. total reply rates, people loved it. But now I feel we're entering a stage in the market sophistication where it was fun to use AI in 2024, but in 2025, I feel like I'm starting to slowly use it less and less because people are starting to see AI generated content as the opposite of personal. So the market really shifted between 2024 and 2025. So now I'm really leaning into using AI to do market research, but not necessarily copywriting.
I love it. I think this is great. This is the same direction that I go as well, 100%. I also have the feeling like people now can smell AI, especially in cold emails. They smell it from 50 meters against the wind. Like, and it need to be very, very special that people still feel like, wow, there's an aha moment. You know what I mean? But most of the things sounds just fucking the same.
I have screenshots of leads that it happened last week. We booked them in for a client, but they said their literal reply was, "I didn't respond to you for 2 weeks, so I can see your whole thread, so that I know if you're AI or human. You seem legit. Let's book a meeting." and that whole thread was actually AI, and the guy waited to get all the emails in the thread so he knows if it's AI or not. In the end, our message was so good, and that's in that case that he said, "Okay, I think you're legit. You're not a bot. Let's schedule a meeting." But the whole thing was artificial.
I love it.
So there are cases where you can puncture a market with AI still, but I feel like if you're not speaking their language, if your prompts are not outputting the tonality of that specific market, let's say it's one thing to say, we're going to book you 10 sales calls, but if you're speaking with a SaaS company, it's another thing to say, we're going to book you 10 demos with XYZ. So just changing the small words, I feel like makes that difference.
Yeah, and there we again on specification. The more you specify and the more you basically target your ICP, the more specific you can be in your messaging, right? So like that like makes a lot of sense. The more if you go broader, and it's very hard to speak the language of the person that reads it, right? That's for sure. I agree. And like one thing that I also started doing, to be honest, is like I'm sending emails again with zero personalization. I'm not using Clay at all. I just have something that flows nicely, and I use an SDR, basically the SDR that I work with, and I tell him, look, send me the email that you would normally send out, and I take this email that he would send out, written by a human, and just put it a little bit better into flow so that it flows nicely. You know what I mean? Because like I don't know, like you tell me your opinion on this one, but the best emails I've ever written, and the ones that really brought me the most results, had a beautiful flow when you read them.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, they have to. It can't just be a static message or something that uses AI for the sake of using AI. I feel like it should read nicely. Every line should make you want to read the next line.
Exactly.
And if you can do it with like the first 2-3 lines, if you can successfully do that, then the reader is more convinced to continue reading. But you have to get their how should I say, non-verbal approval in the first parts of the email.
Absolutely, I love
If that flows nice, they're gonna see your social proof, they're gonna see your CTA, they're gonna see everything else after.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know the book for sure, maybe, right? So here, the Adweek copywriting, blah blah blah. What is it? The
Yeah, I
Bible,
see.
right? And
Yeah.
like what he speaks about, he always says like you need to see it as a slide, right? So basically, just go down a slide and then like shoom, at the end they buy. And in the end, the first thing of an email need to be a pattern break. Like this is the one thing. Like that's why we have like subject lines that are just basically only one word, for example, right? It's like, what's this, right? And anything that is somehow different, right? Or also the first line. And if it's just hey, hello, yeah, whatever, it's always the same thing. None really stands out. But if you do anything that is different, this is what you need to do, because if people are getting 50 cold emails a day, all right, they're like basically just screening them and you will not stand out. But if you do something different, this is where it gets interesting. And that's where I think also is a little bit the art of cold email, right?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love it because it's a space where it's a love and hate relationship, because you can spend 50 hours on a campaign and it just flops when you launch it. You can do like all these sophisticated clay tables and scrape these lists and it just flops. And then all of a sudden you make a new campaign, which is like not using any AI. You just, make it 2-3 sentences long and it rips.
Yeah.
So it's super dynamic, I feel like. And a lot of people that give up on cold email don't spend enough time in it, because I feel like sometimes it takes 10, 20, 30 campaigns to get the winner, So yeah, I think a lot of people don't spend enough time to test in cold email
I love it, man.
specifically.
Yeah, and I think in general, like people spend too less time in everything that they do. Because, like honestly, like one thing that I realize now, for example, I started to do posts now every day, right? And I realized like I'm posting every day now on LinkedIn, and I'm getting so much better at my copy. Like I just get naturally better. You know what I mean? Like if you just do and do and do and do things, you get naturally better. That's why I always say you learn with the reps, man. Like you just need to fucking do it. Like
Yeah.
people that like, and you know you have been a very good example of that, right? Because you also just had too much stuff. You were overthinking everything, and like, and, you know what I mean. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. But when you just start doing the shit, you're automatically getting better. Like this is just what naturally happens. And I think everybody doesn't mean like we talked before about my YouTube. If you do 100 YouTube videos, you get to a place where you're getting good. It doesn't matter what you do, you will get better. Like there's no fucking way that you're not getting better. You need to be a complete retard if you're not getting better. You know what I mean? But this is with everything like this. I said the other day, it's like, and guys, if you listen to this,
I mean
sending
this, right?
1,000 cold emails for yourself every day, okay? If you are sending 20 cold DMs on LinkedIn every day, and if you're posting every day, and you're not doing 10K in 6 months, you call me, I coach you for free.
It's true. It's true. Literally.
Right. It's like it's the basics that make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Put yourself out there. I mean, I know we had a separate video on your channel, perhaps, where we talked about my experience with limitless reward.
Oh,
And like the biggest thing that I identified, which was kind of stemming from what you just said to the viewers, which is like put yourself out there. I'm not perfect. Like my biggest bottleneck was that for me, visibility equaled danger.
yeah, yeah,
So like I didn't put myself out there because I felt that people would, criticize me, they would scrutinize my content, they would label me in such terms and all that. So with limitless reward, I quickly understood that, that's a false belief, and it's one of my core false beliefs. It's not a small one, it's a big one.
hmm hmm
So I think that's kind of a big needle mover, which ties nicely into what you just said. Put yourself out there. Uh, it's not, the being scared of being out there. It's you need to identify kind of what the core belief behind that is. And if you identify what the core belief is, you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to achieve the results that Johannes just said in 6 months, or he's going to coach you for free.
I gotta go to free. Let's see if people are coming over. I want to see your thing. Like, I want to see your smart lead or instantly. I want to see basically your 6 months cold outreach for 1,000 emails a day. I want to see your LinkedIn with all your fucking cold DMs. You know what I mean? And I want to see your LinkedIn. It's easy. I just want to see you posting every day. If you do that, call me. Send me a message. I swear I got you for free.
Yeah.
This is not going to happen, bro. There will be nobody not doing 10K if they do that. This is impossible.
It's true,
No
and
way.
it's so simple though, because you said obviously I also used to overthink, and it's in some aspects like I do still, but it really is that simple. Like you just have to put yourself out there more. You just have to send more emails, upload more posts, just network with more people, and sooner or later you're gonna realize that you're getting inbound traffic, you're getting outbound,
Exactly.
traffic from outbound, from all places. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
really hard to not close any deals, even if you have, let's say, a 5% closing rate. You're going to be getting 20, 30, 50 calls a month. You're not going to be closing anywhere between 1 to 5 clients at least, which
yeah,
is like if everyone is 2.5K, let's say, you're going to be adding 10K every single month.
absolutely. Yeah.
So
Bro, I love it. This is so true because like I said, it's always get back to the basics, man. It's all about this really, right? So, what we say, like clients are more educated than ever about marketing tactics. How has this changed the way you position your services and what you need to deliver?
yeah, I mean, they obviously don't want to hear the words cold email or leads. I feel like they're become pretty desensitized to these. So at least how I position myself is with a outbound playbook, like the whole system from ICP to booked call. So I'm actually delivering the whole thing for them. And when they work with us, we manage the system that we built for them, but they also have the option to have it in-house if they want to after that.
Okay,
So for me, at least, long to answer your question, is providing ownership to it.
I love it.
So it's not that we only build the system and we manage it, but you also have the option to take it in-house. We can help you with that process, or we can continue managing it for you for a certain fee and
hmm
a performance incentive. That's kind of how I position it.
hmm 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 Okay, so basically. because I believe a lot of them are scared. They're like saying, yeah, we put so much money into an agency, and then what would you going to have of it? Any value, nothing. And you basically tell them, okay, you can become the owner of the whole structure. But is it
Yeah.
not like this? Then with time, maybe they're telling you like, okay, I'm taking the structure now and I'm leaving you. Like, you know what I mean? Is there not any danger in there? Or they just say no, like continue do it, you do it for us. Like, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, and they don't. And it's simple
Okay,
because
that's what I
because
wanted to hear.
because
Okay.
they realize, of course, it's a form of sales, and I really would provide that opportunity for them if they want to,
Yeah.
but they don't want that because they see how much effort is going into it, and
Mhm.
it's much better for them to just pay us, that agency, the company that is doing this on a daily
Yeah.
basis for them, than to actually take it in house. So while we do provide it as an opportunity for them to do,
Mhm.
I, from a sales perspective, understand that they're most likely not going to take that
Mhm.
because it doesn't make sense when they see how
Mhm.
much effort goes into it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Love that. Thanks for the answer to this question. That's great. Um, okay, let's go a little bit into another question, the scaling trap. Most agencies hit a wall between 10 and 30K because of the founder becomes the bottleneck. Where are you in that journey, and what's your biggest scaling challenge right now?
Yeah, I would say comes from a couple of things. So first of all, to grow, you need to sell your service.
Hmm.
So when I typically have noticed an issue with me is that I go on a say like a sales season where I scale, then I
Hmm.
plateau, and then I start selling, then I plateau, and it's like this
Hmm.
constant staircase. But sometimes I get caught up in service delivery. So when I'm climbing the staircase, I'm like plateauing for way too long.
All right.
And I would, yeah, to solve this is like the front end problem. The back end
Yeah.
is obviously service delivery, not having enough teammates, which are also my bottlenecks.
Yeah.
But the front end is definitely sales. So I would say for me, it's definitely just stopping my sales because I do that every 1 to 2 months. I stop my sales completely so I can focus on the service. And then
Hmm.
when I feel confident, in quotes, I
Hmm.
continue my sales. So that's
Hmm.
my biggest issue, I would say, because obviously service delivery and team size could be adjusted if the volume is there.
Hmm.
But if I'm not doing sales, then I'm not even getting to that bottleneck to begin with.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, cool. So you realize it already. So like what you do already to improve this?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't stop my outbound now. I
Hmm.
just continue sending cold emails. I just let them, happen in the background. And when something happens, my team books it for me in my calendar. I hop on discovery calls and I sell my service.
Okay.
So I feel like that's at least half of the problem when founders get stuck in this ball range, including me.
Hmm.
And to fight that, it's just more sales, and more sales would obviously require more teammates. So the other part of the problem is that I didn't know how to build a team and how to actually hire people.
Okay.
I got assistance for that specific problem, so now I know how to do it.
Hmm.
So I feel like, yeah, it would be more of a matter of uh, bringing the deals and just taking care of the service delivery after, because I've been too cautious to have my system running before I do sales. And sometimes that cautiousness turns into procrastination.
Understood. Of course,
Yeah.
exactly. And you're scared that something is breaking.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm scared that the quality of results are gonna fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because I mean, obviously, everybody that I've seen that is really scaled fast, there's a lot of shit breaking, right? That's part of the game.
I think, yeah, the thing that concerns me most, at least personally, is just not delivering for the clients that we sign.
I love that. Okay.
I feel like I'm just not being truthful for them if I'm selling the service. So I would
Hmm.
much rather scale slowly in this staircase-like way that I told
Hmm.
you,
Hmm.
rather than, I know I have friends as well who literally scaled to 100K in
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
couple of
yeah.
months.
We both
What
of them.
happened? Yeah, and then what happened after that? Some of them stay on that range, which is super nice, of
Yeah.
course. But what I've noticed as a trend is that some of them crash super hard.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm a bit scared of that second possibility, if I have to be honest.
Yeah. Bro, Joe Boyle just closed his agency. Have you heard it?
I He was one of the examples that I thought of. I didn't know he closed his agency
He
though.
closed it, yeah.
I
Because
know
it's like he
yeah.
was doing like so much work. He was doing like 100K, but had maybe like only like 10%, 20% margin or some shit like this. And then he said like, rather I do it by my. If you think about it, if your margin is that low, all right, and you're having only 10, 20% margin, and you rather do it by yourself, get 4 clients in for 5 grand, and you do make the same money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I've always approached it from this point of view. I think even in our previous conversations with you, when it comes to would you rather scale horizontally or vertically, I've always been a fan of vertical scaling personally.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Mm-hmm.
much rather have 10 clients at 5K
Mm-hmm.
than 100 clients at or like yeah 50 clients at 2K
Yeah,
to
100%.
let's say.
100%. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Same for you. Rather, you give them more service, you give them higher quality service, then you have like all these almost called the bullshit clients that just fucking eat your mind and give you a headache and don't bring you any money. And it's just hard like to deliver for them on top of that. Like I just make a massive purge with James, you know James, right? So like
Yeah.
where he came to me as well, Johannes, what should we do? And I'm like, you need to do a big purge, man. You just kick out all the tire kickers and, and
Oh,
just
really?
just specify on the ones that you really want to do.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like
They did that.
I've been kind of blessed with my clients. Like I love all of them actually.
Hmm.
Like I think they're all cool people. I think I've been qualifying them right. Obviously, there are some people that are not a fit, which I've regret. You know, sometimes as a founder, you regret selling your service to someone.
Hmm.
So I've had situation. I have had two situations where I've regretted selling my service, but that was completely on me. It's not the customer. You know, customer is coming to me requiring lead generation services, and if
Hmm.
I don't qualify them right, you know, it's my fault. So I would say in terms of hit rate, like in terms of the clients that we service, um, I've been very blessed to work with like phenomenal people. I think that comes from just really disqualifying people that I feel like I can't help. You know.
I like that, man. This is great. I'll do this the same as well. Like yeah, you remember your friend that came also in Limitless Rewired. I don't say a name now, but
Mm-hmm.
like he was also like I disqualified him before because like I asked him, do you have any mental blockers? He's like, nah, I don't think I have mental blockers. I'm like, I don't know if you're the right person then. No, he qualified himself like, yeah, but maybe I do have them. Maybe I don't know where they are, right? And it was really fun, man. So yeah. So you know obviously what I'm talking about, but yeah. Um, oh,
Well, let me fix the lighting for you while you're taking a sip, because this has like an automatic light in the office, and
all right.
I have to stand up and do like this shit.
It's all live here. All right. I'll go put
Fuck it,
myself
they want to save
on.
electricity. It's not my problem anyway.
Really?
Uh, yeah, no, I'm using a shared office space in Copenhagen, so it's like,
They managed to have electricity. That is funny,
no,
man.
I'm joking, I'm joking. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have another really cool question for yeah, I call it the crystal ball question. If you had to predict where the agency world is heading in the next 2, 3 years, what trends do you see that most people are missing?
Trends, I would say probably the AI one that we spoke about, like the content using AI for copywriting. I feel like a
Hmm.
lot of people are still stuck in like really heavily relying on AI to save
Hmm.
their copy. So that's definitely a trend, you know, just using it less and less,
Hmm.
or using it for other purposes like lead research, more
Hmm.
accurate data.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's a trend that is still being underlooked in the market for sure.
Hmm. So you think like the trend is going back, like using AI more basically in the back end for research, for this kind of stuff, but not using it anymore so much for outreach and go more back to human.
Yeah, for sure, because like we're seeing all these new tools, like for example, even not related to code email, but even tools like Sora. If you saw the new Sora 2,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's getting a bit wild, you know, the things you can create with AI. And I feel like people are scared of fake content online and being misled by AI. So it's distasteful to be how should I say? If they see that you're sending an AI email, it can seem distasteful. Uh,
Yeah, interesting. And also, like, I even heard that Meta, like Facebook, Instagram, and stuff, they want to basically lower reach massively for AI content.
I don't know about that, but probably, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
it is an
that's what I
issue.
heard because it's getting more and more into a direction, obviously, that everything gets AI. Like, I have to say, like, I love to use it for like when for example, when I create content, I use Poppy. I don't know if you know Poppy. Poppy is
Yeah.
super sick, right? So like I like to use Poppy to just basically start what I'm doing. And then I have some posts that I really write with Poppy that are also really good. But then I have other days where I'm completely creative and I just bring up stuff. Like today, for example, I don't know if you've seen my post today where I said like, if this is you, right? I said like, if you are one of these guys that are reading my post, I mean you, yes, you, right? And you still didn't do nothing, right? Then this is for you. So like that was actually really cool. Like I have sometimes really you have these creative moments where you just want to write content. I was basically had this idea in the gym. I was like, okay. And when I walked back from the gym, I basically wrote the whole post while I was walking on my WhatsApp, right? And then I just put it out there. And I had the idea when I was on the treadmill actually. So like creativity always comes for me in these moments where I'm not even thinking about doing anything. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, for example, I'm in the gym on the treadmill. I'm just like I was listening to how is it called? The Gap in the Gain. An amazing book, by the way. If you guys have not read it, this is an amazing book. And then I had this insight. I'm like, yeah, good. I'm gonna do this post today like this. And I had this idea. I don't know if you ever seen this. No, I don't think you ever did because you have never been in a masterclass of mine. Where I use a picture of Morpheus, right? Where he basically in the end he has like the red pill or the blue pill, right?
Mhm.
And I basically use this, and there's the red pill, there's like just the red pill, and I call it the green pill because everything in my masterclass is red and green because red is bad and green is good, right? So it makes sense. So I was like, okay, so this is the same thing like the red pill and the blue pill moment. However, in this case, the green pill is limitless reward, right? So the red pill, you're stuck, you wake up in the same place, nothing is going to change, blah, blah, blah. The green pill, I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes, right? So this is basically the thing that I use. And like also that's why I have Neo up here because Neo
Yeah.
basically decoded the matrix, right? So guys, that's why Neo is up here when you were wondering already why Neo is up here. So now you know why. Actually, it's not even light on. Now it's on. So that basically like this is why he's up here because Neo decoded the matrix. That's why I'm such a big Matrix fan. Not because of like the matrix in where we all live on, yes, as well, but also the matrix in your head that has been basically constructed or implanted by education and society in your brain. And that's why this program that is in there that I call the Matrix as well. And I'm fucking helping you to get out of the Matrix. That's what it's all about, right?
It is a real thing, though. I mean, the Matrix might seem like a movie, but it is an actually like an invisible system that holds you in a cage of a kind. I truly believe it is like this, like the movies portrayed it. Now, obviously, it's fiction, it's science fiction, but in a lot of cases, you would see that movies actually tell you what the reality is,
Fuck
but
yeah,
in a
totally.
more artsy way, as to not actually reveal the truth. But the truth is, the Matrix actually exists.
Yeah,
And if you don't see it, if you don't see how, as you call it, the mind viruses infect your consciousness,
yeah,
then you're more likely to fall victim to these habits and yeah, just not develop.
absolutely, man. Great, I love it. Awesome. What I wanted to ask you as the next question. So, how much time do you spend? This is a good question for you because I know you have been there big time before, right? I don't know how is it now. I'm really interested. How much time do you spend perfecting things that could be good enough to launch? What are you actually afraid will happen if it's not perfect? Are you still stuck there a little bit, or are you completely gone over it? I'm quite
I'm
curious about this
I'm
question.
still stuck. Yeah, I'm still stuck in it
Uh-huh.
because that's kind of my form of procrastination is perfectionism.
Yeah, I know it.
Everyone has like their different type. I think most people procrastinate in some shape, way, or form.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, it's perfectionism. I like to have everything dialed down before I launch or do anything. So I still spend, I would say, like unnecessary amounts of time in launching stuff for sure. Like even whether it be the website, whether it be the VSL, small things like that. I get stuck in perfecting every detail as much as I can. Yeah.
Mhm.
I would much rather be honest on this podcast and reveal that hey, I have these bottlenecks. Like I'm still struggling with these stuff, but I feel like understanding and taking action to be better and better every day is what we're here for. And If I were to hop here and say I don't have these problems, I would be lying to you. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it. I mean, I think this is great when you exactly, you should stay raw and authentic and should exactly say what's going on. That's what my people also love about my channel, I believe. And so that's why it's great when you give it to them, right? And I think a lot of them that are listening now have exactly the same problem because I work with so many people like this, right? And I mean, thanks God, perfectionism is not really a thing that I have. Like, this is really something I just fucking go. Yeah. If somebody needs somebody to push shit forward, then call me. Right? Because I just fucking push shit forward. And it doesn't need to be perfect for me. I just push it out there. But I know that so many agency owners have that problem because you're just overthinking everything. You're like, but it's also, like I said, in your case, also like a little bit this visibility thing, like what would people think and
yeah,
stuff like this, that is still also a little bit inside you. But I think you did a massive step already, and you know that in the right direction because you shipped a lot in the meantime. And if you compare yourself to where you have been before we met, and
literally, yeah.
now it's a fucking quantum jump.
Yeah, that's why I don't give myself like I give myself pats on the back, and I also don't give too much criticism towards myself. Now, obviously, I acknowledge the bottlenecks that I have, but I feel like if I look back and I see the progress that I've made throughout the last 12 months, 24 months, it's like, huge. So like I can't obviously neglect that. I know Noah Snowgrove actually had a post on LinkedIn either
Mhm.
today or yesterday where he said, we forget how much we've done,
Yeah.
for our clients and for ourselves. So we should really give ourselves a pat on the back from time to time. And yeah, as much as we like to be hard on ourselves, we should also like
Yeah.
thank ourselves for the work we've
Yeah.
done.
I think it's so important, bro. Like, because it's also what the gap in the game talks about in the book. Like, there's so many entrepreneurs, they're always in the gap. They always just see like, okay, this is missing and this is missing. And when I finally will have this, then I will be happy. And then I have this, but they're still not happy because they set their next goal. And I work with so many clients as well like this that have exactly this problem that they're never really happy about the things that they achieve, right? And I think, I mean, if you remember at Limitless Survive, there's a lot of stuff that I recommend doing here, like for example, really celebrating the small wins. Like one thing that I just read also in The Gap in the Game, basically, I listened to it, what he says, like, what's one thing that he does is like every night he writes down three things that he won on this day, like three things that you won, and you write about three things that you want to win tomorrow. And he says he does this since 25 years, and this is one of the reasons why he's such a happy, successful person. And I think it's powerful. This is how these small things that make such a big difference. Same like, I don't know, bro, have you ever continued doing my golden 5 minutes thing?
I was gonna talk about the 5 tasks because that was
Okay,
the
the
bigger
five
one for
tasks as
me.
well. Yeah, do you do the 5 tasks still, or?
Yeah, yeah. I do them like in ClickUp, like have this like project management tool. So I don't write them on paper,
Yeah.
but I still in the software that I use, I can set like a due date. So I know these 5 tasks, I have to do them today. And at the end of the day, the software tells me, hey, what's happening? You didn't do your task, So
Oh,
it's kind of like
cool.
a small accountability. Yeah. So I would say the 5 tasks, like even, regardless of how big or small the task is, just knowing that you've done these 5 things that you said you would do builds up the confidence for sure.
Yeah.
And the
Guys,
five
if you have,
minutes, can you just remind me about
yeah, I
that?
will I will
Because
remind you on this quickly, but I will just like for people for if you watch this and you don't know what the 5 tasks are, I have a video out there as well where I'm standing on my terrace where I talk about the 5 tasks. If you want to check it, it's like I think I wear like a white vest and it has no thumbnail and it's just like basically me talking on the balcony. It was one of my first videos. But if you don't know what it is, I will quickly one more time just repeat it. What are the 5 tasks? So the 5 tasks is a very fucking simple system. And it just really helps you to make shit work, to make shit done, to get shit done, right? That's the right expression. So basically, what it is like every time before you start working, let's say you start working like at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m., it doesn't matter, or 10 p.m., doesn't matter what your work day is. But in the last 10, 15 minutes, you basically sit down and you write down, you think about 5 tasks that you do tomorrow that will move the needle, like really goal related tasks, right? Obviously, sometimes can be the normal task inside that you just need to do for clients, whatever, but keep at least 1, 2 tasks in there that are really needle movers, right? Like I said, for example, 20 cold DMs. I don't know, sending like, you know what I mean? Like things that are really moving, 20 cold DMs to putting a post on LinkedIn, like stuff like this. They're really helping you to move your business forward. All right. So this is basically what you do. And you put these 5 tasks. And then in the end of the day, when you're done them, you basically write like you tick, 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 and then you put like a line under it. And when you're done, then you write the W for a win. Okay. And obviously, when you do this every day for like, I don't know, how long are you doing this now?
So it's been on and off, but I would say the last 3 months strictly.
Okay. If you're
So
doing
every,
this for
yeah.
if you're doing this for 3 months like Borislav does, and you're not moving in the direction of your goals, this is completely impossible. You will move in the direction of your goals every day. So that's the first massive, massive advantage. Me, for example, sometimes I do my 5 tasks, I'm done with them at 3 p.m. and I go, hey, fuck it, I go to the beach. Because I've done my shit, right? So this is the thing. And this is the number one. And the second thing, and that's the more important thing even, is you are a man of his words. You say what you do, you do what you say you do, right? That is exactly what happened. And that's what you do is you create confidence. And confidence is the number one most important thing as an entrepreneur because in the end, people buy you, right? So like if you are basically every day doing these 5 tasks and you have a win every day, you're a winner every day you're a winner. And you can look back on these things like win, 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 win. And you do this for 3 months. You create so much confidence that you don't give a fuck anymore what people think about you because you know exactly who you are. You know exactly who you are. You know you do the things and you know you do much more than other people do. So it's just such a simple thing. But everybody that I taught this, and it's one of the most favorite things that I teach. And it's funny because the 5 minutes I will repeat you after. This is the second thing. Like let's say if I could teach only 2 things, right? Then it would be the 5 tasks. Because the 5 tasks, if you do them regularly, if you do them every day, you will go in the direction of your goals. 100%. There's not even a question.
Yeah.
All right. And the second thing is the golden 5 minutes. What do I mean with the golden 5 minutes? I will give you a recording because maybe you should start doing it again. Right? What it's all about. It's about like normally, especially before we go to sleep, what we normally do. We think about our problems. We think about like stuff that we did wrong. So basically, we think about a lot of negativity before we just go to sleep in the last 5 minutes. However, it's the last 5 minutes before we go to sleep are the most important 5 minutes of the day. Why? Because these are the 5 minutes, especially when we drift to sleep, is we control, we program our subconscious. We program our programming, right? That's what we do. And that's why this is 95% subconscious. So if you think about problems, what do you think you will attract? More problems. That's the thing. But that's why I teach something that I call the golden 5 minute rule. And I did not invent that. I got it from Dr. Wayne Dyer. Maybe he got it from God knows whom. Also, Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches it. I'm not taking the credit here for me. Credit with credit. I don't even think Wayne Dyer brought it up. I think this is ages ago. Some other, well, maybe Napoleon Hill. God knows whoever brought this up. It does not matter, but it is really powerful. And how I do it with my clients, and that's what you can maybe do again, is like, I remember I told you, write a goal card where you basically put exactly on this goal card how you would like your life to be, how you would like to be, how you would like your identity to be as well. This is what you would like to be. This is what you would like your life to look like. And write in the I am form because I am is powerful, right? And then every day before you go to sleep, the last 5 minutes, the card is lying next to your bed. And when you get sleepy, you read the card and then the only thing that you do basically, you visualize like your imagined life, your amazing life, and then you drift to sleep. And this is super fucking powerful because it really like also you wake up happy, you wake up motivated. It's really powerful. And more thing that you can do in the first 5 minutes that you wake up, that's also something that I do. Like I wake up and then I'm still like a little bit like doolsy and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, okay, so I still have my eyes closed and I visualize my perfect day. And I visualize what's going to happen and if I have a meeting, how I close it and stuff like this. I just visualize that. So like the last and the first 5 minutes are the most important 5 minutes in the day, right? And if you use them really like productively in this way, it's going to be a life changer. So that's what I mean. Bring the 5 tasks and the golden 5 minutes together, and you have 2 amazing things that can push you and your business forward.
I love it. I've been doing an iteration of a version of the 5 tasks of the 5 golden minutes, but with a
Mhm.
life manifesto,
Mhm.
which is another form of a letter that you write to
Yeah.
yourself.
Mhm.
Mine dates to 2027, which is
Mhm.
in 2 years from now,
Cool.
December 2027 for a reason. But uh, essentially, I don't know if 2 years is a long enough time frame. Maybe you can like help me with this, but I feel like it's realistic. Like 2, 3 years, you can kind of make
Mhm.
like tangible changes. 50 years in the future, or like 20, 30 years in the future might be a bit too far away,
Yeah,
and
agreed.
1 year might be too close.
Yeah, agreed.
So what I've been doing, which now you made me think maybe I should change it for sure. I've been reading the Life Manifesto in the mornings. So after I wake up, after I leave my bed, I read it. It takes me about 6 minutes because it's a couple pages long, and in between the paragraphs, I have pictures of what my dream apartment looks like, what my business looks like. So it's a combination of text and imagery in the same document.
Fire. Okay.
Would you say, Johannes, I can use the Life Manifesto to read it before going to sleep, or would you still say I should write like lines instead of the Life Manifesto?
Like you could definitely use the Life Manifesto before you go to sleep. I think that's super fucking powerful. I think it's even more powerful than just reading the fucking gold card.
Okay, because it takes approximately like 5-6 minutes to read.
Yeah.
And it's like super detailed on how I want my life to look like in 2 years. So
I love it, man. I love it. I think you should definitely give it a go. Like I think in the morning it's also powerful because it's just like it really like I think when you read that you're super motivated to start work then afterwards. So like, but yeah, try it in the evening, see if it makes a difference. But I think it's like I mean, then you do it anyways. You do it in your way. You know, I don't say my way is the only way, right? But like I think especially this kind of thing that you have this powerful visualization of your future. And if you read it in the morning, that's also super powerful. But try to give it a go in the night and see what changes.
Yeah, because I already have the asset. I just want to use it in a better way, and maybe before going to sleep is more beneficial. I should try it for sure.
You just like the thing is like I mean it sounds logical, right? That you program the program in the night. Like this is just a logical thing, right? And if what do you do normally do in the last 5 minutes before you sleep? Right
I
now.
watch my phone. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm doing the worst thing possible, and I'm conscious of it, but I can't stop. It's I need
Okay.
to change this behavior. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean this is also something that I also stopped doing. Like I'm not always doing it. I'm like I said, I'm not Mr. Perfect, right? But I really like. I also realized because I mean, if I wear my other watch, my Garmin thing, I can also see like I see a difference in when I read before I sleep and when I watch and scroll before I sleep. And it's a great difference. You sleep much better when you sleep, even if it's the last half hour. Like one thing also that I can give you, I think what is a great thing to do is like put your phone in airplane mode the last half hour at least of the day and the first half hour of the day. That would be the best what you can do. Because like this, you basically you read your book, you read like I normally have my Kindle or a book or whatever, and in the last half hour I read that book, and then in the last 5 minutes I read my goal card. That's it. And then I fall asleep. All right. And then next morning, like I said, I do this thing when I'm still visualizing. Then I normally wake up, then I meditate, then I go to the gym. And then maybe I switch on my phone. If even sometimes I'm just doing deep work after gym and I'm switching it off on later. It depends, right? But I think this is like something I learned from Jay Shetty. And for sure, he also did not invent that, but I just learned it from him. And I think it's so powerful, even if it's just a half hour. If you can do it an hour, it's great. But even if you just do it a half hour before and after, like basically before you go to sleep and before you wake and after you wake up, it's a massive game changer.
Yeah, and it adds to basically developing a routine for yourself. Because I know you had calls around this where you not only showed us the practices we can apply, but you also showed us what a day could look like from waking up to
Yeah.
bedtime. I remember that call when we had that, and I think you correct me if I'm wrong, but you said the first half of the day should be spent non-interruptive to do like deep
Yes.
work, and then
Exactly.
the rest of your day should be like reactive, like having meetings. For
Yeah.
example, now it's 2:30 p.m. Central European, so the gist of what I got from that call was you're better off spending the first part of your day before noon to do like the deep work that
Yes.
you want to do, the high ROI stuff,
Exactly.
and then hop into meetings and client calls and all that.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is super powerful. And by the way, I learned this from Levi.
Yeah, it's a mix, but that's
So
the best thing that we spoke about in the beginning of the call, which is like if you combine uh, perspectives from a couple of sides. For example, I know from the mental side what I should do
yeah,
because of your knowledge that you've shared, and I know some systems from Levi that I can apply. And when I
yeah.
combine, oh, there it is. The lights are on now.
Yeah.
uh, when I combine the systems, that's when magic happens. So
Yeah, I love it,
shouldn't be
man.
stuck to one model for sure. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
this
saying.
this is great. No, absolutely. Like I said, this is something, guys. If you watch this, I know you're always scrolling, and maybe you're even scrolling right now, and it's night. Take it as an advice. It's a really good thing. And even like I said, even if you just can do it a half hour, like even a half hour is already great. If you cannot do 1 hour, that's fine. Like maybe like I also sometimes, I like sometimes watching football or whatever, and then I watch Champions League, but at least the half hour, you know what I mean? I then switch it off and just really have only my book. And that's I sleep much better and everything.
Would you
All right.
try? I have a side question about this. Would you try to kind of tie in your hobbies with the business that you're in? For example, if you want to have reading as a hobby, would you still prefer to read business books, or would you read something that is completely not related to your agency to take the steam off? How would you approach
That
this?
this is a great question. I personally only read nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I love enjoying reading stuff like The Gap and the Gain, or like, I don't know, like Think and Grow Rich, Influence, I don't know. But sometimes also I read like spiritual books like The Unfettered Soul or stuff like this. I normally read two different books at the same time. One is more in the spiritual direction, like The Unfettered Soul or The Power of Now. That's something that really calms me. And then I read like something like The Gap and the Gain, or like whatever, Hormozi's book or some stuff like this. I normally read two. And it depends in which moment I am. This is the one that I take out reading.
Because I feel like you can have your hobbies to obviously not distract yourself, but have a work-life balance.
Yeah.
But it's also beneficial for your hobbies to be somewhat related to what you're already
Yeah,
doing in
exactly. So that's
terms.
what I mean,
Yeah,
right? I don't want to, I'm
yeah,
not interested in reading fiction. Like
yeah.
it's funny because when I was young, bro, I read like 1,200 pages of fantasy books. Like this was my first escape because everybody told me, Giles, you're a loser, you cannot do nothing right. Like it was just like this, and everybody just did not like what I was doing. So I was like, I hated school and all like this. And then I was just like, I had these massive books that were thick like this, and it was all fantasy. Wolfgang Holbein is a German author, and he wrote like 15, 16 books, and it's all about fantasy. It's almost like the Lord of the Rings or something like this. But I thought it was better, and it was just putting me into my fantasy world. So I was like, I loved reading that shit, bro. Like that was crazy. My mom was always coming, and she said, like, stop reading now. And I'm like, no, I'm not reading. And I basically continued reading under the blanket with my flashlight, and she could not see the light anymore. Oh my God, man, that was crazy. But now,
It's a
since
good
now I'm only reading nonfiction. It's interesting, right? Actually.
yeah. I mean, comparing to what kids nowadays do with Instagram and all that, I feel like reading is something, getting busted for reading is way better than getting busted for just watching IG and
Yeah.
scrolling. It's like at least you're developing your brain, I feel like, with fantasy as well.
Yeah,
So
I mean, bro, I
it's
think
weird how the
like
hobbies change.
today, I believe if a mother would find somebody with a book, they would not say anything. They would be like, "Hey, I have a fucking great son, man. Like, what this
Yeah,
guy is
exactly.
doing."
Exactly. If you catch your kid reading, you're gonna be like, okay, well, I'm doing something right.
Exactly. Right. That's what I would say, man. 100%. Okay, cool. All right.
Oh,
So I have
nice.
like one last final question, actually. Oh, no, I have one more question. The first up. So can you remember the first time someone made you question whether you were good enough at something? And if so, how old were you? And how did that shape your relationship with confidence?
It's probably when I came to Denmark 4 years ago. I was 20 years old, working a
Mhm.
shitty night courier job,
Mhm.
and it made me feel super, super bad in my skin because, like, if you're a night courier, people don't really have that much respect for you, I would say.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I really felt ashamed going out with my uniform and my scooter to deliver packages.
Uh-huh.
Delivering packages felt awful. Like I would pray that I don't see anyone on the street.
What the
I
fuck?
would I would pray that I don't see anyone I know.
Uh-huh.
But I had to make money to survive. So it was such a bad feeling because I was going outside to deliver, but I didn't want anyone to see me. So yeah, that was an experience that made me definitely have low self-esteem for, I would say, a couple of years for sure. And then when I quit the job and when I went full time with my business is where I started becoming myself finally.
Mhm. I love
Yeah.
it, man. Thanks for sharing this, honestly. Thank you for being so vulnerable, man. And how did it shape your relationship with confidence, that what happened there today?
Today or to
And
in
how
when I
did it
was,
shape it? Like this was obviously a crazy experience,
yeah.
like almost like a trauma. And how did it shape your relationship to confidence? This what happened there, like today.
I mean, at least it gave me a lot of discipline because if you think about it, working night shifts, I had to wake up at like midnight every day and go out deliver until 6 a.m. every morning.
Mhm,
So being able to do that, to wake up every single month, I was never late for work. And I was doing that a year and a half, 2 years almost, uh, night shift every single week. So having the discipline to wake up and do what I'm supposed to do for sure. In Denmark, obviously, when you're outside, you get rain, you get wind. I've gone home with like my hands frozen, uh, almost crying from pain in the shower of how cold I am. So going through that pain, I feel like I really can't be arsed to care that much about anyone anymore because I know how much shit I went through.
mhm,
So definitely, at least it helped me to endure physical and mental pain, the
mhm,
whole experience.
mhm, mhm. Thank you, man. I love it. Thank you for sharing this. Really, I think this is great of all for the viewers. All right, guys. So then my last question. That's really my last question. So final question, and this is one for every entrepreneur listening who is stuck in their own head right now. If you could send a message back to the version of yourself that was running on corrupted mental programming, battling imposter syndrome, and playing small, what would you tell them? And don't give me some motivational poster bullshit. Give me the real raw truth that would actually break through their mental barriers. So basically, what would you tell yourself if there would be one thing that you could tell you?
This is a big one because I would have given you a different answer maybe a couple of years ago, but I don't know how you interpret it, but I'm an Orthodox Christian.
Hmm.
So for me, it actually was leaning into Christianity and my religious beliefs is something we don't talk about in the agency space. But
Hmm.
essentially, when you have an inner voice, I had this inner voice throughout my whole adult life, which I knew what I was supposed to do, but I never did it. I worked as a night courier, I did all these shitty jobs. So what I would go back, why I mentioned Christianity is because I have started to receive this voice more and more, this inner voice. I start to receive it more and more now that I've embraced
Hmm.
my roots. And I feel like if I were to listen to that voice from earlier, I would, of course, already be way more successful, way more me at this current point. So I would go back and I would say, definitely don't do what others expect you to do. Do what your inner voice is telling you to do, which in my belief has, again, as I'm saying, it has transformed. I would have given you a different answer, but now I believe it comes from God. And I believe I'm guided from by good faith to do what I'm supposed to do. So just leaning into it, I would have loved if I leaned into it way earlier. That's what I would give as advice to my younger self.
I love it, man. That was a beautiful, beautiful closing word, man. It's really hit me. I think this is like such a big one, like to really follow your heart. I think this is something that I always did. I just always did it. That's why I had such an amazing life. Like, if you think about it, like, bro, like, I mean, I really did it all. Like, I party like a rock star, I fuck like a rock star. I traveled everywhere, whole world,
Yeah.
178 countries, and then I live in Marbella, Spain, and like all of that. Like, I always followed my heart, but I started doing that, and this is the interesting thing. I started doing it when I left home, when I was going out from all these circumstances that was
Yeah.
surrounding me. Because when I was surrounded by all that stuff, I was just always this kind of like, I just started to believe what they told me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was a fucking loser. Like really, I was. Like I mean, call it like this, but like I said, I was working as a beer driver, right? I mean, I told you this story once, right? Where I was working like basically I took like trays from the truck, I took them, I put them on the thing, and I brought them into the market. That's what I was doing, like the whole day, working out. The only thing that I also learned there was hard work. And this I'm grateful today, really grateful. Because it was working from 7 to 4 there. And it was just like, but the funny thing is that my teacher in school in third class, he told me, Johannes, you will one day you will carry trays. And look at this. That's exactly what I did, right? But like as soon as I left my hometown, where I was so in this thing, like I became what society made me almost, right? And then when I left and I went on ships where nobody knew me, I could invent myself completely new. And then I did so much work on myself and I started to do all this personal development that I did and all that stuff. And then I realized that I have this natural success mindset in me. And it was just bottled down by all the negativity that came to me, like Johannes this, Johannes that, Johannes this, Johannes that. And I remember I had one moment up on the ship when there's like beautiful when you go like sometimes in the when you go on the ship and you're on the open sea and it's flat sea. I don't know if you've ever seen this when everything is like a mirror. This is such a beautiful moment. You have maybe seen it when you were sailing now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's so beautiful, right? Like when everything is just flat. And I had this moment and the sun was rising and I was like thinking because I had in this moment I was like coming fresh on the ship and I was a ship that it was Italian crew. The crew was Italian, and then they told me, yeah, the Germans, because it was just sailing basically to go going over and start from Germany. That's why they let me embark there. And they said, yeah, the Germans, they don't like to buy. Nobody likes the Germans. And I'm like, why? And I in the first cruise when I came there, I took this atmosphere in as well one more time. And I was basically like selling nothing. I remember I had zero sales at the end of the cruise, right? It was very bad. But then I had this moment where I was standing up there with the flats and I was reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. By the way, great book, guys. If you don't know it, super fire book. Um, and I had this epiphany moment where I was just like, why do I even listen to that? Like the German, the Austrian, the Swiss have the most money in Europe. They have for sure more money than the Italians and the Spanish and whatever, you know. So like, and they tell me that, and I'm fucking listening to them. But I'm German, so like they don't understand them. That's their problem. But I can make something happen. All right. And in this moment, I will never forget this moment because I had this epiphany to understand like from one hand the other, I was like, I cannot blame anybody anymore for what's going to happen here with me. Like I cannot blame my parents, my education, like the place now, then the Italians, like nobody, right? It's just me. And the only one that is responsible for my life is me. And I tell you this, when I had this moment, it was first of all like a really big weight on your shoulders, right? Where you're like, fuck man, this is heavy, right? But then on the same time, I understood that if I'm responsible for everything, then I'm also the creator. I'm
Yeah.
creating my world. That's what I do here, right? And promise you, Borislav, when I had this moment, I went boom. I went like second cruise, I was best in the spa, and then I was just superlative over superlative. I was the best fitness for 2 years. I went into theaters. Nobody ever did that before. Like it was insane just because I took responsibility for my life and I didn't blame anybody else and I understood that I'm the creator. And that's what I needed to take me out of all this bullshit, yeah, education and society and all that stuff that did it with me to understand like don't listen to anything anymore that anybody ever told you and just follow your heart. And since then I always did it.
That's the gift we're all given upon birth. And I think the Matrix is trying to steal and hide that from you,
Yeah.
which ties into our whole conversation. It's literally you have this infinite gift inside of you.
Yeah.
Just don't get affected, don't get trapped inside the matrix. That's literally it. Like if you embrace this gift of abundance and infinitiveness, basically, you will succeed in whatever you do, obviously, with the repetitions. And as you said, show me someone who was consistent and wasn't successful. It's like there's no person like that. So
There's no person like that, man. Absolutely. Thank you, man. So thank you so much for joining into this podcast, guys. I hope you got something out of it. For me, I fucking loved it. Like, honestly, I have to say, like, it's so much fun to have my friends on here and I think you also learned something. It's agency owners, a little bit of mindset. And like, if you like that stuff, please give me a like, give us a like, put a comment, all right? Subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I have to apologize because I said last time every Tuesday we're going to run that. From now on, we will do it. Last time my editor was sick, he had over 40 fever. So that's why. But like from now on, every Tuesday, you're going to have always one podcast. Every Thursday, I'm going to have always a raw and authentic Johannes one, and maybe also mixed with some teaching. And then on Saturday also, I'm going to bring you some testimonial or whatever, like an interview with some guy that went through limitless rewires, and we talk about mindset and what the mind can do. And that's it, guys. So I thank you very much for watching, and I see you in my next video.